Real Madrid are in a serious problem next season. I hope all of you guys know this. Don't look at the fact that we won a double last season. Don't look at the fact that we signed Mbappe and expect there's going to be sunshines and happy days and butterflies. Yes, we've got a talented midfielder. Yes, we've got a talented forward line. But there is still problems and there is still something missing within this team. And in this video, I'll explain to you why we are in a massive problem heading into next season. And it must be rectified. I can't stress this enough. I can't highlight it enough. This is very crucial that either Calafat or Florentino Perez, they must rectify this problem and they must fix this problem heading into next season. Before I go any further, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Like I said, consistency. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I keep saying I will and I don't do it, and I promise and I don't do it. But this time I'm trying. And hopefully I can do it. But yeah, man, comment, like, share, subscribe, everything. Back to the video. Yes, we signed Mbappe. Yes, Endrick is coming in. Yes, we've got Vinny, Mbappe, Rodrigo up front. Yes, we've got Camavinga, Tchouameni, Jude Bellingham, Fede, Luka, Brahim. We've got stacked midfield and a stacked forward line. However, there is a problem heading into next season. And that is the fact we have not done anything when it comes to the defense, and that's why, in my opinion, that's going to be the most crucial aspect heading into next season. Real Madrid is heading into next season with 4 centre-backs, and that is Eder Militao, Vallejo, Rudiger, and David Alaba. One of them came back from an ACL injury and didn't really have the great of ends to the season, even though his Copa America was pretty decent. One of them, he's disappeared. He went to Girona, didn't really play that much, came back, and I was expected to get game time, which I don't think it will. Rudiger, who has been the best centre-back last season, and he maintained that form with Germany, and is now coming back to Real Madrid. And one person is not even going to be ready till November, and even after November, I still don't think he will be healthy enough to play any games for Real Madrid. And that's just me being totally honest, and that is David Alaba. So realistically speaking, we've got 2 centre-back / 3 in Vallejo. But let me just ask you this question. We go to Wanda in November. Let's say, for argument's sake, either one of Militao and Rudiger is out with an injury. Do you really expect Carlo Ancelotti to have faith in Vallejo and play him at Wanda? The pecking order is quite simple. It goes Rudiger, Militao, Tchouameni, Vallejo, and Alaba. That's how Real Madrid is heading into next season. And bro, let me just tell you this right now. This cannot run. I'm very happy with the way our management has done, the way they handle the whole Mbappe situation and the Jude situation and the Arda Güler situation. I'm not denying what they've done. I don't want you guys to think, oh, Perez knows better than you. I know. I'm not saying I know everything about Real Madrid. I'm not saying I know more than Perez. One thing that Real Madrid has not handled this season or even last season at all is the centre-back options. Let's be real, last season we were crying for a centre-back, we signed no one. This summer our expectation was only on 1 centre-back and 1 centre-back only, and that was Lenny Yoro. We had our eyes on him, we've been talking about him since last season. We've been saying that he's going to join Real Madrid. And of course, next season was his final season and his contract was going to end. And I fully understand we weren't going to be paying above the odds. That's why we started at 20 million and then we went up to 30 million and we delayed it and we took too much time. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months into the line, and then United came in and boom, 65 million. They signed Lenny Yoro and announced him within 3 days. I'm not saying we should have offered 65 mil. I'm not saying we should have offered 60 mil or 50 mil. I'm just saying we should have offered an amount which was acceptable to Lille. Because Lille wanted between 40 to 50 million throughout this period. Real Madrid, the maximum which they were willing to pay was about 20 to 35 add-ons and plus-ons and everything else. They weren't prepared to pay 40 million straight cash to Lille. And that's why Lille was, you know what, brother? I'm not taking your offer. United just came in with 65 mil. Let's just sell it to them. I'm not happy with the way we handled it. Because if we look at the profile, Lenny Yoro was perfect. He was young, 18 years old, talented enough. We saw him. Calafat, talent ID, that speaks volume enough. And the fact that heading into next season, we weren't really going to be playing him, but he was going to gradually adapt to the way we play, similar to what Camavinga did and Tchouaméni did. And then you never know, he's 18 years old, Rudiger's 32, Militao is 26, but after coming back with an ACL, most likely he was going to be playing a lot this season, and next season, the following season, he might have been starting. So the fact that we left this talented young player out of our way, I'm not happy with the way we did it. I'm not happy with the way we handled it. Let's just talk facts and facts only. Real Madrid bottled it. As simple as that. We should have offered 40 million for Lenny Yoro or 50 million for Lenny Yoro. We should have made the bids, because at 18 years old and the way we are heading into next season, knowing fully that we don't have a lot of options, that should have been the main centre back. In this video, I'll give you 5 players. 5 players that Real Madrid should consider. 5 players that they should try to at least sign one of them. Real Madrid is in a dilemma. Real Madrid is unsure whether they are willing to spend the cash straight away, 80 million, 90 million, break the bank, on a centre-back like Saliba, Guardiola, Bastoni, or one of those players. I don't think we are going to do that. I think we're going to give it maybe next season or the following season for us to be willing to spend at least 80 and 90 or 100 million for a centre-back. Because I think they still see Rudiger and Militao as the main 2 dogs, and it's not going to change anytime soon. So I think Real Madrid is heading into next season. Should we sign a centre-back? Like, is it really needed? I mean, Tchouaméni did a good job last season. I'm sure he can do it again. That's what Real Madrid are thinking into next season. But really and truly, we can't really rely on Tchouaméni to play centre-back. Because the reason why it worked last season is because we had Toni Kroos. Now Toni Kroos goes away. Now Toni Kroos is no longer Real Madrid. You can't really take away the one person who will be doing a lot of Toni Kroos next season in Tchouaméni and then restrict him into a centre-back. Then who are you going to be playing instead of him? Who is going to be dictating the tempo for Real Madrid? That's what we need to be careful of. Because yes, Tchouaméni can do it, but I don't want him to do it every single game consistently, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games in a row, 8 games in a row, 3 months in a row, and then take away his responsibility in the midfield. We have to sign a centre-back. It's as clear, as simple. It's not even an argument. It's not even a debate. In 5th place, I know, by the way, it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. I'm just being hopeful. I'm just dreaming. This is more of a dream signing more than anything else. I know Real Madrid will never, ever, ever do it. And that is Pepe for 1 more year. Just bring him back. I know Real Madrid, the way they do things, the way the management is, and the way the transfer policy is, they don't like to bring someone above the age of 32, 33, 34, and especially someone who's been a former player for Real Madrid and bringing him back. I know it would never happen, but just to see him, he's, free agent. He's 39 years old. After the season he's had with Porto, and after the campaign that he had with Portugal, I can see him doing 1 more year, and it makes perfect sense to bring him back, especially add more experience into this team, and especially, bro, why not? He would be willing to accept a backup role. He's not going to be starting. He knows that himself. So getting him for 1 more year and making him retire Real Madrid is the perfect story, but it's my story and not Real Madrid's story, so I know it's not going to happen. In 4th place, I've got the Dutch centre-back, the 18-year-old from Ajax, Yoro, who last season had a breakthrough season with Ajax, starting over 30 games and making himself known to the world. And that's why I feel like with Yoro going away, we should maybe keep our eye on a fellow talented young centre-back. And Hatto's one of them. Like, he's got his minutes with Ten Hag a couple of years ago. He got a couple of starts, but last season he emerged himself and became a main starter for Ajax. Even though Ajax last season didn't have the best of season, they were very, very disappointing, very inconsistent throughout the whole, whether that was in Europe or whether that was in pretty much in the Dutch league, they weren't good, bro. But at least Hato was one of the brightest sparks. And you never know, bro. Like, listen, Real Madrid has had their eye on him for the past 12 months, but maybe we made the mistake of not pulling the trigger on Lenny Yoro. We shouldn't be committing the same mistake with Hato, because I wouldn't be surprised if this season, if he performs to a great level, the likes of Bayern, the likes of the Prem teams, or the likes of PSG or any other team will be willing to spend 50 or 60 million on this guy. Because, bro, I've watched him every now and then. He looks a very talented centre-back, and I don't think we should make the same mistake we did with Yoro. The 3rd option is not something which I'm expecting to happen, just because of the fact that buying him will mean that we have to spend at least 70 million on this guy. And that is Schlotterbeck from Dortmund. We all know what he did last season at Dortmund. We all know the great campaign they had in the Champions League, in the Bundesliga. And of course, he made himself known, especially in that Champions League final. In my opinion, he had a great game, despite, of course, a couple of mistakes there and there. But, bro, he's 24 years old. The only thing is, his value is 70 million. And if we look at it, in my opinion, if this came to me, there is a lot of 23, 24, 25-year-olds on the market at the moment. And going between 60 to 70, 80 million, the likes of Ignacio from Sporting Lisbon, the likes of Antonio Silva from Benfica, the likes of Schlotterbeck. I feel like out of the three, for me, the person that I've watched more than all three of them, the person who I've been convinced more than three of them, the person who I feel like is strong enough to play for Real Madrid, and the person who I feel like will be perfect in the system is Schlotterbeck, in my personal opinion. But the reason why I feel like it will be difficult is the fact that Dortmund next season, they only have one left-footed centre-back, and that's Schlotterbeck. Hummels just went. I don't think they'll be willing to offload Schlotterbeck, even if we spend about 50, 60 million. I think they'll just say no, and that's why he's the third option. But I think out of the Ignacios and Antonio Silvas, Schlotterbeck, in my opinion, should be above them, and I think should be considered, if not this summer, then 100% next summer. Second place, I've got a loan signing. And just hear me out. I know you guys might look and like, what? He's not good or whatever. Just hear me out. And that is Milan Skriniar from Paris Saint-Germain. And that's only on a loan signing. Just hear me out for a second. I know you might look at it and say, what the hell are you talking about? He's bad. He's not good. Did you see him at PSG last season? You don't watch PSG. Yes, I do. Just hear me out. Everyone at PSG didn't perform great last season. That's one. Secondly, he didn't really start a lot of games and he was in the pecking order way down in the pecking order. That's two. Real Madrid was rumoured to get him over the past couple of years before he went to PSG and in 2022 where we were willing to spend the money on him when he was a free transfer. Thirdly, this will be a loan signing. PSG are willing to offload him. Us and PSG, yes, we signed Mbappe away from them. We don't have a bad relationship with them. And if they are willing to give him away, we might as well just sign him for 12 months. Real Madrid over the past decade, 2 decades, we don't really do loan signings, but we only do it when it comes to emergency loan signings. The most recent one was Joselu, when we didn't really have a striker and Mbappe rejected us last season and Benzema left. We had to sign someone. We signed Joselu and look how it turned out to be. He scored 2 goals against Bayern and really helped us to win the Champions League. Chicharito in the 14-15 season, we signed him and look what he did. He scored that amazing goal which everyone celebrated, of course, against Atleti in the Champions League with Ronaldo assisted and James gave the pass. And of course, emergency signing. Adebayor being one of them. We don't really do a lot of emergency signings as a loan signings, but when we do, it makes perfect sense and we do it for a reason. And right now, there is a reason. We don't have any centre-backs. If we're not willing to spend the money, the 60 million, the 70 million, the 80 million, the 90 million on someone, if we're patiently waiting for the right person to come available, the Saliba, Bastoni, or any one of those, just get someone, a stopgap centre-back where he's willing to be on the bench, he's still good enough to perform, and someone who will be above the picking order of Vallejo, because I know Vallejo's not going to be starting. Someone like Skriniar has got the experience, he's got the ability, he's got the talent, and why not? It's not going to cost us anything. We might as well. And last but not least, in my opinion, this should be our only signing. This should be our only person that we should consider. And that is Laporte from Al Nassr. Laporte is valued between 20 to 25 million. Laporte was asked a question when he was with the Spain national team at the Euros. He was asked, Real Madrid might have been rumoured to get you. What's your first thoughts? He said, if an offer comes through, I don't even need to think about it. And I don't even think we should think about it. We saw what he did in the Euros. In my opinion, he should have been team of the season, but they gave it to other players, which I don't understand why. But for me, he was one of the main and best defenders in that Euros. He had a great season with Al Nassr. I watched a lot of Al Nassr last season because of Ronaldo, and he performed quite great. He's still young. He's still got the ability. He's a left-footed centre-back. In terms of building up, he is maybe one of the best in the world, especially at now. It makes perfect system. The system is there for him. The language is there for him. That's not language barrier. He's got the ability. And bro, for me, 25 million, that's peanuts. for someone at his quality, and his quality hasn't dropped. A couple of years ago, he was regarded as one of the best centre-backs in the world. Yes, he went to Al Nassr, and people thought, oh, he's finished, he's wasted his career. Look what we do with Spain. He's still got the talent, he's still got the potential, and trust me, he's still got it. But at least one of the 5 players that I mentioned, or at least if I haven't mentioned anyone, we should be signing a centre-back. It should be a no-brainer. Put it down in the comments how you feel Real Madrid has managed this centre-back situation and who you feel Real Madrid should be signing this summer. I'll be back quite soon with another video giving you my top 30 Ballon d'Or nominations. How I want to see the top 30. Not FIFA, not UEFA, not how they're going to do it, how I'm going to do it. And trust me, it's not going to be biased, but just believe a certain Spanish midfielder that plays for City is nowhere near top 3. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Peace!